So today we're going to talk about what it takes to really dig in and meet our project goals. This is in response to my video, why it's so hard to achieve goals. And so today we're going to talk about what it really takes to dig in and meet our goals even when we don't feel like it. This video is in response to one of my wonderful viewers, and I hope it's helpful to someone else as well. So as I mentioned on the why it's so hard to achieve goals video, I have been working on a lot of projects, and sometimes you don't necessarily feel like doing what you need to do. And so I'm going to share today some of the strategies that I use when the going gets rough. You have to have a plan for when the going gets tough, right? So the first thing that I would say that I do on a regular basis is I keep in mind my why. You must remember your why, whether it's a written list, a list of your goals, or a vision board. You want to keep your goals ever before you, right? Just to really and truly not lose focus of what it is that you're trying to do. The days when you feel like sluggish and you really don't want to do much, it's keeping in mind why you're doing what you're doing that can help motivate you to at least do something. That is super important. And especially to recognize that each time you push through and do something, that you're getting closer to the final result or the goal that you're working for in the first place. And so remembering your why is extremely important, because I'm sure there's a real reason that drives you to want to accomplish that goal in the first place, and to not lose focus of that, to be able to see that on your wall, on your calendar, on your daily notebook, or whatever you use on a regular basis. To see that ever before you can be very powerful in and of itself. Another thing to do when you're not feeling like doing much is just ask yourself, do you want to be in the same position tomorrow that you're in today with your project? When you just think about, okay, if I don't do anything today, tomorrow I'll be in this exact same situation. Is that what I really want? And if your answer is yes, that's one thing. But if your answer is no, again, that can give you just a little bit of that push to at least do something. Now, a more practical way that you can get yourself going is using a timer. Okay, so you've already decided why you need to do this, why you want to do this, and you know you need to do something. So to now use your timer, you are helping yourself get started, because once you hit start on that timer for whatever it is, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it may be, that's your time to go get started doing something. And then on top of that, you have an end point. So it's like, okay, I don't feel like doing much today, but I can do 5 minutes, or I can do 15 minutes. Whatever it is, set your timer and work for that amount of time. Okay. Now, when the timer goes off, you have permission to stop. Right? But what I have found, and this happens time and time again, even the other day, sometimes all it is just getting started. Because by the time the timer goes off, I'm in flow. I'm ready to go. And I'm not ready to stop yet. And so a timer can be very powerful to get you really going with doing what you need to do. Another thing that you want to consider is just how you can break down what it is that you have to accomplish into bite-sized pieces. Again, that's because sometimes getting started is the major thing that has got you hung up right now. So maybe just aim at doing 10 minutes of something instead of 20 minutes. And again, like I've said before, even if you have to go down to 5 minutes, the main thing is to get your project moving forward. If your project requires writing, well, you may just bring it down to, I'm going to write 3 lines or a paragraph rather than a whole page. These are just things that can give you something to propel you forward and be just motivating enough that you don't feel like just procrastinating and putting off what needs to be done today for another day. We have to remember that something is always better than nothing. Another very important thing that you must prioritize when it comes down to getting things done is rest. Because I tell you, a tired mind is not going to do very much of anything. And the time that you use to work when you're rested is much more efficient than when you're tired. I mean, when you're dragging and tired, you're not going to accomplish nearly as much as when you have made sure that you got a good night's sleep. It's really crucial. We take it for granted a lot of the times. Staying up all times of night, some of us considering ourselves night owls or what have you, but at the same time, some of us may struggle during the daytime because we're just not as clear-minded and refreshed as we could have been. So just make sure that you are prioritizing your rest and your sleep so that you can work at an optimal level for yourself. Another thing that you want to do to make sure that you are using your time wisely is to limit distractions. Oh my goodness. Y'all know social media, your cell phone, YouTube videos or anything else can really divert our attention and get us off track from what it is that we need to be doing. And so I would suggest having a set time when you're allowing yourself to go down those rabbit holes rather than the time that you're trying to get work done. So you really want to limit those distractions when you're trying to work and concentrate on what you need to do. So we really want to use our free and available time wisely. A lot of times we can think that we don't have time for certain things, but if we look at how we actually use that time, we could see that we could have used it in a better way than we actually did, because sometimes we're just kind of wasting time procrastinating or kind of just entertaining ourselves, and before you know it, the day has gotten away from us. And I know it has happened to me. It has happened to me many times. So being more intentional about how we use our time can be very powerful. Work hard, play hard, but make sure we put our work in for the day first. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about breaks, right? So first I want to talk about active breaks, what I call active breaks. When you're working, sometimes you can get kind of tired of the task that you're working on at the time for the project that you're on. It's like it could be mentally draining or whatever. And what I would consider an active break in that case is to switch gears and do some other part of the project, whether it be research or some other more tactile thing that you can be doing with that project, to give yourself a break from the thinking that you've been doing on that particular part of the project. And it just kind of just allows you to switch gears a little bit. And sometimes that's all it takes, is just to give your brain a break from a particular line of thought that you've been thinking and just do something else. Sometimes it may be another aspect of that same project, or it may be working on a different task or project that you still want to accomplish, but it's just giving you a way to switch gears temporarily, but you're still being productive at the same time, if that makes sense. So that's what I call active breaks. So you're still working on something, but you're switching gears from one train of thought to another to give yourself a break in that way. Last but not least, I want to talk about the intentional break. When you have spent some time working and you literally just want to stop doing all things work for a little bit and take a break. Sometimes you just need a change of pace to go for a walk or do something more relaxing for a little while, just to get yourself ready to focus on your work again. The main thing to keep in mind is when it comes down to really digging in and pushing through and getting your goals accomplished is a mindset. The mindset that you can do this, that you will do this, there's a way to get it done, and you're allowing yourself to work in wise ways and creative ways, you know, whether it's in shorter bursts sometimes, or taking breaks or whatever works best for you. That is what you are going to do in order to see your goals come to pass. And so those are some of the tips that I have for you as far as what it looks like to really dig in and get things done. Remember, something is better than nothing. What can you do today to move your goals forward? So to my viewer who asked this question, first of all, thank you so much for the question. And I'm hoping that the information, the strategies that I gave with this video were helpful to you. And for everyone else, I hope that this was helpful to you as well. And if it was, please leave me a comment below and share it with someone else. And I'll see you next time.